helping workforce isn't burnt out. They are lacking leadership and initiative to actually step into the role that they were meant to have. And I've got a story for you that sums this up beautifully. When I went on stress leave from my job as a child protection social worker, I secretly kept working. I know I wasn't supposed to, and I wasn't getting paid for it, so it wasn't illegal. What I was doing is I was trying to start a child advocacy center in our area. I saw time after time the system fail kids because there were people in the roles interviewing these children experiencing abuse that didn't have the interview skills or the environment to actually get the truth. They didn't create a space of safety and trust via their communication style, as well as literally the environment. Like a child going into like a little police office room and getting interviewed is not feel safe to a child. And I experienced this for the first time when we actually had detectives come over from another province and interview this kiddo, which was very resistant to being interviewed. And I got to see the way that they did it based on their experience and how they work within a child advocacy center. And I was like, bam, this is exactly how it should be. And every child should have this opportunity. Why don't we have this where we live? So that sent me down the rabbit hole of starting a child advocacy center. There were lots of communities that had them. We were a big community that didn't have anywhere across our region. So I started emailing, I started raising funds, I started getting together programming, I started finding places to host the child advocacy center. And then when it was time to reach out to the big regional office for the next step of the assessment phase, they basically said, oh, I'm looking at your name here. You're not the person that should be starting this. You're just a social worker. You're just like the frontline worker. This actually should be initiated by somebody that's in a completely different role in a completely different business. And I'm like, okay, but they didn't initiate it. I did. And the kids need this. And this is a perfect example of the broken system that gaslights helpers in those helping roles into thinking they're doing good work, but boxing them in with red tape and then giving them $40 an hour. The concerning piece is the burnout rates in these roles are massive. And so leaders in that space, they slap on the old, well, you just need more self-care and we need mental health days and we need, to have practices where we talk about things and we need to have informed trauma coaching and mentorship. No, what you need is to allow the leaders in your organization to be fucking leaders. And how you allow them to be leaders is to stop boxing them in with bullshit red tape that not only acts as a barrier to them becoming the leaders that they were meant to be, but also actually negatively impacts the exact people you are trying to serve. I have spent my entire life feeling boxed in by a system. Job after job where I dive in, purpose first, I'm going to help so many people. Next thing you know, you get bitch slapped in the face with, well, we don't quite do it that way here. You can help them, but you can't meet with them one-to-one. You can help women that are triggered by violence overcoming it, but unfortunately, we still have to put violence in the title of the program or else we're not going to get funding. Do you see how fucked up that is? Do you see the giant disconnect in how people want to create leaders, true leaders in their organization that are going to help and save the freaking world, and then they box them in to asking for permission to do literally anything? And I have hundreds of examples of this. I could literally make this entire video about all the ways that I couldn't support the clients, the people that mattered the most, because I needed permission first. This is the trap. And this is why so many people in helping roles leave that system. It's not because they don't care. It's not because they're burnt out from helping, from the trauma they're witnessing. It's because they're boxed in by a system that doesn't do the job it was meant to do. It's because they know what needs to be done. They know how to serve their people. They know how to help them. They know how to provide the transformations, but they need permission to do it, and they're not getting that permission. That's when they step into, like many, what I did, starting their own business and making their impact and taking autonomy over their life and actually providing transformations that stick instead of just working within a system that keeps people stuck. Yeah, you get some wins now and then, especially when you can walk on the fine line of where you're allowed to help and where you're not allowed to help. But those wins are far and few between. So yeah, you can call it burnout, but it's not burnout for the reasons you think. It's burnout because women like us are working in a system that doesn't fucking work. And we see so clearly the tiny little shifts that need to happen to actually serve and help and step into our true leadership roles, but we're not allowed to. And so this message can be for those upper management. Hey, maybe you're way at the top and you're inventing the policies and you're coming up with the practices and you're coming up with the funding initiatives. If you want a team of leaders that are underneath you, you need to let them lead. You need to listen to them. You need to hear their voice. You need to get their feedback, and you need to implement the shit that they are saying because they are the ones doing work. This is why people fucking hate corporations. This is why people hate government, because it just literally reminds them of being like a little kid in class and being like, can I go to the bathroom? I really have to go. It's bullshit. You're keeping the leaders small. You're keeping them quiet. You're dimming their light. You're dimming them down, and it needs to stop. And honestly, for those of you that are in leaders and you are in this position, I challenge you to step outside of the box. The world on the other side is fucking incredible. It is magical. And if you can take leadership within your programs, within your corporations, within your offices, then do it. Take the initiative, be the black sheep, ruffle the feathers. Do what you can do within the parameters you are in, and then explore how you can do it outside. Nobody can keep you small. You are the only one keeping yourself small because truly you have options, you have choices, and you have a voice. And you are meant to do more, and you know that. You know that. And you were excited when you fell into this role. You were excited when you got this job, and you were excited about the work that you can continue to do helping people. But that excitement turns into defeat so quickly when somebody says, you're not allowed. You're not the person. You don't have permission. Yes, these people will continue to suffer because our fucking red tape has blocked you from doing your job and living out your purpose. I challenge you to live it out anyways. I challenge you to take one step outside of that box and to step into the leadership role you were destined to have. As always, I have an unwavering belief in your potential, and I wish you nothing but success in whatever endeavor you pursue, in whatever challenge you create, in whatever feathers you ruffle. Make the waves, baby. Make them big.